Hello and welcome to my English coaching class. I'm your English teacher, Shaykh Ashikur Rahman. Students, I hope everyone been in fine and good mood. Okay, as we are already in a pandemic situation, so I hope everyone in a good health, be hydrated, have proper nutrition, proper balanced diet, and take sufficient amount of citric acid, or we can say lemon. Okay, so that will help you. So just within this a little bit small suggestion was for you. Before proceeding of our topic, students, I have initiated my class yesterday. My topic, I hope you remember. Before discussing on the topic, quite recall or flashback or initiation just I want to give. Today's topic is an elementary school classroom in a slum. An elementary school classroom in a slum. This is today's topic. Okay, and students, I have initiated the discussion yesterday. Okay, the discussion I have initiated yesterday. So just I want you, before going for the discussion, elaboration, analysis, I have given the introductory idea, central theme, background. Okay, and I have brought to the giving the ideas, what is importance, what is the problem, and what is the solution for the problem. Okay, I have discussed all these things. So before asking the questions to the students, just this was a little bit idea, and I will tell, don't forget to subscribe my channel if you're a new user watching my channel. If watching my video, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and don't forget to like, press the like button, thumbs up, and don't forget to press the bell icon, and share as much as possible. Share and care. If you share, you are caring of someone. You care of me, you're pressing the thumbs up button. So just share and care. Okay, so just share as much as possible. Okay, so wait, the screen is coming onto the screen is going to change, and you can see the today's chapter name. Okay, students, you can see the screen here on the screen. I am here with the chapter name, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. Okay, by Stephen Spender. Yesterday I have initiated. Okay, yesterday I have initiated the class, and we have discussed on the introductory idea. Okay, I have given an introduction class. We can say introduction class in our last class. Okay, last class was about introduction. Okay, and today, so how many classes? Hope so too. Okay, so today I'll be just doing the analysis. I'll be exploring about the chapter, what the chapter is, and the secrets about the chapter. Okay, so not directly I'll go and open it and just I'll complete it. This is not going to happen. I'll give you the last minute preparation also, and elaboration also. When you'll get any kind of questions, you can attempt it. So just before going a little bit discussion about the yesterday's topic, just be active. I'll discuss where I've left it yesterday, and I'll ask you questions what we have done it yesterday. So just I need the answers on the chat box. Students, be active and just answer me. Okay, so yesterday we have discussed on the topic that is an elementary school. Today we'll continue from there. So that what we have discussed yesterday. Okay, so here we have discussed the central theme, and I have shared you the central theme here. The elementary classroom is something like systemic problems hamper the power of education. That this is the central theme. And the second point is here, the poem focuses on the idea of education and the barriers that exist to receiving equality education for students in poverty. Equality education should be equal for all should stand in one single line. Okay, so one monkey is doing monkey race should be there. With the monkey, tiger should not come and join. There should not be tiger and monkey race. So when there's equality should be there for the education, where all should stand in an equal pace for fighting for a level of growth. Okay, so this is the central theme what I have already discussed in the last class. So today just I have brought the theme pointing towards basic of idea where you can get into the exactly what the chapter is talking about. The plight of slum children, and you can take the snapshot, you can write it down in your copy for your remembrance, and will help you to write it down when the long question. Students, remember this year as per the syllabus is prepared, you might get a long question from the poem section. 5 marks question from poem section, you may get it. Okay, but till now, within 4 to 5 years, students did not get any long question from the poem section, but you might get it. So this is the provision has already been prepared in the recent updated syllabus, what I've already discussed in the part of syllabus. Okay, so here the plight of slum children and the bleak future, dark future. Plight of slum children, where they going, and where it is connecting to dark future. The future, they don't have any bright, they don't have any hope for the future. Next point, neglect of rich and powerful community of the society towards the underprivileged. See, when we start rich people or powerful people of the community, start focusing towards the lower one, start focusing thinking about the lower people, definitely they also can grow and stand equally at the next day. So what happened in our society? We don't focus to the junior one. Junior one refers to the poor people here. Okay, we don't think about the underprivileged people. We only think of it ourselves only. We become selfish. Okay, we become selfish. This is the major issue of ours. This is a major issue of us. The same thing, rich and powerful society of our people, what they do, that is the next thing highlighting in our poem. And the next point is the pathetic condition of school children of a slum. What is a pathetic condition? Broken roof or broken window, or what is the teaching methodology? What are the equipments? So that is the thing has been shown in the slum school area. The next point, world of the rich as compared to the world of slum children. So this when you can do the comparison, rich and poor comparison, like hell and heaven comparison, you're doing it. Similarly, that thing we can see in the chapter in a particular way. Okay, and next point, aspiration of freedom as the basic element of life. As when we each and every one need freedom. Come on, I am growing, bada ho gaya hu. I have a life of living. So that freedom we needed, each and every one, each and every boy, each and every girl, they need the freedom. This is the idea what we are talking about from this chapter. Okay, students. So just before moving for the discussion further, I want students, just in our last class I have discussed. So what is the basic theme point the poet used for writing his poem? What is the basic theme point, or what is the basic theme point? I have said it with a couple of words in our last class. You can speak or you can write it down in your chat box. Okay, you can write it down in a chat box. You can, or turn on your mic, you can speak to me. In basic theme points with a couple of words I have shared you in our last class. Okay, so last class about the poet that he follows in, as I have written on the screen even. Okay, so just I hope you remember it. You can just recall and tell me. Okay, and just students, I have shown you the first three slides showing the problem and what is the problem in the society and what was the solution. Yeah, what was the problem and what was the solution for it? Just I have shared you that. Come on, tell me, and we will proceed further for today's discussion of our topic. Okay, we'll proceed further for the discussion. Yeah, I need the answers to be written on the chat box, students, quick. Yeah, I need the answers to be written in the chat box, quick, students, don't delete. Yeah, poverty in school. Yeah, poverty in school. It is one of the point. A first slide connecting to the God lies everywhere. But basically, when we start helping each other, lack of teachers, okay, fine. What happened when we start helping each other, that got indirectly help comes towards us. That was the basic idea I've shared you in the yesterday's first slide. And the second, I was connecting the poor society, what Pritish has mentioned, the poverty of a society or poverty of a school. What I have already talked, that is the only way to get out of it is the education. I have said it. The problem is the society and a system as we have created, and the way of getting the solution is education. And what is the difference between education and literate? I have given the clear idea to you students in our last class. So the theme point, I did not get the answer theme point, students. The theme point is social injustice and inequalities. Okay, social injustice and inequalities. This was the general theme point used by the poet. Okay, so about the poet I have discussed yesterday. Okay, that's the same thing here. He has concentrated on the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. Okay, class inequalities, here he has focus on this theme point. Okay, students, got it? I hope you're able to understand what I was talking about. Okay, what I was talking about, I hope you're able to understand here. Yeah, so just before going for explanation, I'm just reading a poem. Just reading a poem, I'm not explaining right now. So just mark it down. What are the difficulties you face in the poem? I have already asked to read the poem and come in the last class. So just before going for the elaboration, few more discussions, then elaboration I'll come up. So I'm reading the poem. Students, listen to it and mark it down or write it down or fix it down, or just you save in your brain what to be discussed when I'll be explaining or I'll be going for the discussion. Far, far from gusty waves, this children's face, like rootless weeds, their hair tone around their paler, a tall girl with her weight down head. Okay, the paper seeming boy with a rat eyes, the stunned, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. Next paragraph, students. On char cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities. Belled ghanti in a school, flowery Trialosis Valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these window, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and star of words. Third paragraph. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map is bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. For life's the slight turn in the cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On their sag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So blot their maps with slum as big as dome. Next, final stanza. Unless governor, inspector, visitor. Yeah, and these windows that shut open their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open history, their whose language is the sun. I hope this is an opening reading of the poem, and before going of analysis and explanation, students, just let it little work on vocabulary section and poetic device first. When poetic device and vocabulary is quite fixed on your brain and it's handy available before going for explanation, it will help you to understand poem very easily, which part what is used. So just I'm bringing that on the screen. I hope students you will enjoy and you'll understand first. In the lines I have discussed, gusty waves, breezy winds, the movements of the winds refer here, pallor, pale or dull face, stunned, not fully grown due to malnutrition. Stunned, not fully grown due to malnutrition. Students, if you have book, you can write it down in a book. If you don't have a book, write it on a piece of paper or take a snapshot and mention near your book or copy. So it will help you to when you go through it. Gand, knotted or rough. Okay, knotted or rough. Weeds, unwanted plants that grow on their own. We can see here and there it grows near our house everywhere. Okay, next year, paper simming boy, very thin boy, as thin as sheet of paper. Higher, successor, you know, all of you. Shah, unpleasant, here refers to color of sour cream, off-white or creamish. I'll explain you what kind of creamish here refers to. When I'll explain that line, I'll explain you just remember unpleasant here refers to the color of sour cream or off-white or creamish color. Okay, here it refers sour. Next one, it's there in the second paragraph of our poem or second stanza. Next word, donation, things given or received in charity. Next, dawn, early morning or sunrise, you know, students. Next one, civilized dome. Here it means rising sun at the horizon, which is in the shape of dome or semicircle. Semicircle, you know, dome shape, Mughal period, you have read in history. Civilized dome refers to the rising of sun. Next, Tralles Valley, a beautiful ice-free valley in Austria. A beautiful valley, it's there in the Austria. That picture represent to that picture here. Okay, sealed or shut or locked. Next, lead refers to dark future of kids, lead to connecting to. Next one, capes, a large piece of land that sticks out into the sea from the coast. Next one, wicked, evil, you know. Tempted, persuade, slyly, trickily, crammed, confined, slag, weak, mended, repair. Blot, you remember, to mark with a spot. Mark it there, spot it there. Okay. Doom, disaster, and at the same time it refers as per the Christian mythology, last day, judgmental day, doomsday, where judgment will be done, whatever wrong you have done. So we'll discuss to the line what it really connects there. Next, catacomb, tomb or cemetery, azure, deep blue. Okay, and now come up with a line wise where the very beginning, what kind of poetic device has been used in the line. That is, see, poetic device or literary device. Students often commit mistakes to understand what is poetic device or what is literary device. Okay, so here you may not face problem to understand. I'm just making the screen big, you can easily see. Literary device, first one, far, far. First one, this figure of speech is known as repetition. Far has been repeated. This is one figure of speech coming from far, far. At the same time, where we can see another figure of speech, that is far, far, fa, fa, f, f. Pronunciation is coming. That is what we can say. It is not what vowel sound. Some other sound is coming. Consonant sound, and this sound represent as alliteration. Sound repeated in each word is alliteration, and the words repeated is repetition. Okay, next one, gusty wave. The figure of speech is personification, as a wave have been given the human quality of being gusty. This is the human quality of being gusty. You are aghast or that the same when gusty wave has been given, it's personified here. Okay, understood all of you? Next one, like rootless weeds. Here weeds, the figure of speech is simile, as the children are directly compared to rootless weeds. So here, what is the comparison is done? We'll see in the text line-wise explanation. So you know what are the figure of speech, mark it down or write it down. Next, paper simming boy, the figure of speech is metaphor, as the theme boy is directly compared to paper. So it's a metaphor, directly compared is done. Okay, and that is the metaphor. Next one, with the rat eyes, the figure of speech is metaphor, as the boy's eyes indirectly compared. Okay, here the boy's eyes indirectly compared. Students, here is also indirectly compared to paper. So paper simming boy, here the metaphor is indirect comparison, simile is direct comparison. Okay, simile is indirect comparison. Simile is direct comparison and metaphor is indirect comparison. So figure of speech is metaphor, as the boy's eyes indirectly compared with rat. So one cannot possess real rat eyes in one's face. So it's they're compared with the appearance with the rat eyes. Next one, cloudless at dawn. The figure of speech is antithesis. Just mark it down, students. Antithesis, what I'm talking about, this may be a new word or new poetic device you might be hearing, or if you're knowing is well and good, here the idea is explained in front of you as cloudless and dawn. Okay, cloudless and dawn. What is reflecting here? Okay, cloudless reflect, there's no cloud on the sky. Cloudless, dawn, at the opposite idea, two opposite idea. Okay, so that is defines what? Antithesis, the figure of speech that defines or states two opposite thing in one particular sentence. Okay, so cloudless at dawn, it is antithesis, use of antithesis. Next, awarding the world its world, the figure of speech is antithesis as cloudless and dawn of two idea has been done here. So awarding the word here, the same here as it is connected here, cloudless and dawn, similar way it is connected world, awarding the world its world. That means one world is connected to the other world. The world is missing here. I have repeated that first part here. Okay, next one, ballad, flowery, trialysis valley, the figure of speech is climax here, and the figure of speech is used here. That is a climax. We come to the conclusion, climax. Okay, you know climax that comes in a movie, climax again. Okay, coming towards the conclusion part. So as climax is the figure of speech here, as the words are written ascending order. Words are written in ascending order. Okay, B, F, T, and these are the words followed here. So here that shows the word figure of speech here, and how it is a metaphorical presentation also. I'll explain you in a line when I'll be explaining the part. Next one, a narrow street. The figure of speech is metaphor. Indirect comparison of narrow street to a narrow world. Narrow world. Metaphor words here is education has been indirectly compared to stars. Education here is indirectly compared to, write it down definitely. Student, it will help you when I'll be explaining. If you have the things, when I'll explain, you can quite connect the idea easily. You can frame your brain, image will form in your brain, and it will be saving your mind. Okay, so what a word metaphor here connects education has been indirectly compared to stars, and education is beyond the reach of the students as the star is beyond the reach of everyone's. Okay, similar that comparison has been done here. Next one, that the figure of speech is what? A river, capes, and the star of world. It's also climax here as it is follow the ascending order, Next figure of speech, surely Shakespeare. The figure of speech is alliteration. It is the repetition of sound S. Surely Shakespeare. Surely S sound, here S sound. Next one, ships and sun and love. The figure of speech is climax. The words are written in ascending order. Again, here it is a climax, has been brought down the climax scene. Okay, ship, sun, and love. I'll explain it as a metaphorical presentation also. Okay, and explain you when in the lines what is a metaphorical presentation there. Next one, from fog to endless night. The figure of speech is alliteration. The sound F have been repeated to emphasize a statement. From fog, a statement exactly when it starts, particularly it's a fog has been highlighted. And at the same time, antithesis, the word fog and endless nights are two opposite ideas. Fog, dark, creates, and endless idea. It's another idea has been reflected here. Endless night. There's no end of night. Okay, another dark has been flame here. Next one, like bottle beats of stone. The figure of speech is simile. The children are compared directly to the bottle beats of stone. They're very directly compared in these lines. Okay. Next one, as big as doom. It's also simile. The children's world is the slum, as slums are directly compared to the world of doom. It is directly compared to the world of doom. Next one, unless governor, inspector, and visitor, the figure of speech, anticlimax. The words are written in descending order. Climax, ascending order, it's descending order. Anticlimax, unless governor, the inspector, and then visitor. Okay. Then we see in the next one, this map becomes their window and these windows. The figure of speech is repetition here. The word window has been repeated to emphasize a statement. I'll really connect to the part where this emphasize has been done and what the idea really is framing. You can understand while the explanation will be done. Next one, their lives like catacomb. It's a simile here. Their world is directly compared to catacombs. The world and catacombs, yes, what cemetery or the tomb, we can say how there has been become that condition their life. Next, break or break, the figure of speech is repetition. The words break has been repeated to emphasize a statement. As you remember in the chapter, you have read it, class 9, I hope so students, you might have read it. The men may go, men may come, I go forever. Repetition, the things have been repeated. Okay. At the same time, it is also used to refrain, we can say, but not exactly refrain. That idea has been repeated to emphasize something. The same thing here, it is a repetition. Someone's writing something. Yes, sir, the poem was the brook. Yeah, the Pritish, you're correct. The poem was the brook. Next one, the language is the sun. Yeah, this is the last concluding line, and the whole poem gets concluded in single line here. And I'll show you the word language is indirectly compared to the sun. Language is the sun. It's a metaphor here. It has been compared here. Remember, mark it down. And most often, this last year, I hope I remember, this was the question paper. In the question paper, this question was there, and students, they have committed the mistake in describing the poetic device or literary device. And some other term also comes to explain that this poetic device, literary device, figure of speech, these three devices. Students get confused. Sir, आपने बताया नहीं था. You only said poetic device. We don't know figure of speech. We don't know literary device. So students, try to understand these are the same thing. Whenever you get a question in a question paper, literary device, figure of speech, poetic device, आपको यही सारा चीज explain करना है. Okay, you have to explain these all things only. Okay. Next one, the sorry. Yeah. Language is the metaphor that their tongue run naked. The figure of speech is personification. Given human quality, opportunity. Okay, the tongue, that their tongue run naked. Okay, how the tongue get naked and the thing run. So here the human quality has been touched here. So it's a figure of speech, personification has been used. So next one, so single-minded, so single-minded, so single-minded. The figure of speech is alliteration. So S sound has been used and to bring the single-minded everyone. Okay. Next one, the perhaps the earth can teach us. The figure of speech is personification. The earth has been given the human quality of teaching. Okay, so we can learn from the earth, how the earth is, what the teaching has been giving to us. Next one, and when everything seems dead, when everything seems dead and be alive, antithesis, dead and alive. Opposite idea, and I've brought you the meaning of antithesis, even a person or thing that is direct opposite of someone or something else is known as antithesis. Okay, I hope students, you are able to understand what are the poetic devices used in the poem, what are the vocabularies, what are the important meaning, and now back to the same page or the chapter where we were continuing with the screen. I'll let him bring the same screen in front of you. Okay, I'll start the explanation right now. So where the first stanza, far, far from gusty waves. I hope students, before explaining whatever I have given right now, I hope you're able to understand vocabulary, poetic devices, theme, everything. I hope you're able to understand. Yes, yes, I must get the answer from you, or it was jumping like a bouncer. Yeah, yes, understood. Very good. Yes, others, yes, very good, Sakya. Then I must see other students. Yeah, they understood, or it was like a bouncer in front of them. If you're feeling difficult to understand, you may take a screenshot, or you may turn on the video in YouTube and see again. Try to understand, because the poem, few questions correct, full marks milega. English mein these small mistakes will lose the marks. This small perfection will make you get a full marks. Okay. Now comes to lines. Far, far from gusty waves, these children face. Very opening line here. Far, far from gusty waves means here in the poem we are able to understand. See, the chapter name is what? An elementary school classroom in a slum. An elementary school classroom in a slum. And we are in an opening paragraph here. So here it's a scene of a classroom. Scene of a classroom is described here. No other thing we are talking in talk. And in the classroom scene, everything we are going to discuss. Far, far from gusty waves, these children face. These children, the students sitting inside the classroom. So what are they? They are disconnected from the nature. They are disconnected from the waves. They're disconnected from the environment. How the environment is changing. They're not getting equal opportunity to enjoy everything. So far, far from there, far from these all benefits. From gusty waves, enjoying to the waves coming of the bridge, movement of the bridge. Okay, and these children face, means these children are not getting the same opportunity to enjoy even the nature. They're absconded, they're restricted, they're abandoned, they're fixed. They can't go out of that. They have the limitations. And next line, how they appear like rootless weeds. Their hairs are shattered, uncombed, not in a proper way. So their hairs are. So like these unshattered hairs are compared with rootless weeds. When the weeds are taken out, and when these weeds, we can say that roots are there, as if holding the mud, means dirty hair. Getting mad? Holding the mud, dirty hair. Here connecting their face, expression, how the students are. They're dirty, they're shabby, nasty. These kind of students sitting inside the class, slum children. Their hair tone round their paler, means their pale face, talking about the weak students of pale face, and falling over their face, means as if they have not cut, they have not arranged, or they have not dressed their hair properly. So this is the appearance, first observation, general observation of the class. First two lines talking about the general observation of the class. Students, mark it down. We'll go to a particular observation. First line is talking about the general observation. Next line we'll go for particular. Particular right now. Tall girl with her weighed down head. Heavy weight, with pressure, with burden, weak with the, what we can say, one is malnutrition, weak we can say. But second, here's the pressure, family pressure. Girl having lots of burden, she need to do so many things, and with that, due to his tall girl, when someone is tall and have to do much work, definitely won't maintain proper food. Definitely what will happen? Bend. Okay, and early age means in the beginning no proper food has been given, or malnutrition. Okay, so got it clear? Next one, next particular observation. First two lines general observation, after that particular observation, what the poet is sharing to us. The paper seeming boy with red eyes. Next he is observing a paper seeming lean and thin boy, patla dubla sa. Okay, lean and thin boy, weak boy, and how his eyes are very sunken, like rat's eyes. Rat's eyes are like balls are bulging out. Okay, the eyeballs are bulging out. Similarly, it's a small face, it's quite unable to miss. A right eye's face is quite small, so we can't see, but the human big face and the right eyes are bulging, it's quite different. Okay, that has been compared here. Next one, the stunned, unlucky hair of twisted bone. The stunned, unlucky hair, the gifted, we can't say exactly gifted, it's a bane, it's not a boon. Okay, what we get it from the forefather, from our parents, from the hierarchy, from the upper order, the same we are getting. Father is suffering from some problem, mother is suffering from some problem. This is the child is born, he got it the same problem. Okay, same thing we are able to see here. Okay, so we are able to see the same thing here. The stunned, unlucky hair of twisted bones has been there. The bones due to malnutrition, the proper infections, proper virus, whatever we can say, has turned the bone into a proper disorder. Okay, and it has certain disease name. We are not going to discuss the disease and all right now. Okay, it has certain disease, the turning of bones. Okay. Goiter or something, what I don't exactly remember, but we are not going to discuss on the science right now. Next one, reciting father's gnarled disease, and that is from where it is from the father's side. It's come up with the, yesterday in the opening stanza I talked about the mother's infected from the mother. Here the problem virus. Now here in the poem, this problem is coming up from where? From the father, gnarled disease. And his lesson from his death. So the boy next, first he is observing a tall girl. Second, paper simming boy. Next, he's observing a boy who is suffering from gnarl disease and doing his lessons from his desk. Weak and lean boy, and he's doing his suffering from the bone problem from his desk and doing some work. And now final and closing stanza of this, important lines of this stanza. Try to understand, look at and understand, students. Important line. And at the back of deem classes, deem means dark. Don't take the deem as meaning of Bengali. It's something different. So we are not going to discuss that one, deem. We are discussing here deem means dark classes. Okay, dark classes, one unnoted means dark classes refer here, not light as a dark here, opposite of here, dark refer there. These students' future is dark. This student's future is dark, that class, because sitting in this class, they don't have any future, refers to that part. Okay, students, next one unnoted. Unnoticed means no one has noticed that boy. How is that boy? Sweet and young. Try to mark it down, underline it here. I'm students doing the underlining here. Sweet and young. Sweet and young means one unnoted boy is sweet and young means rest classes, not young, overaged. Okay, getting my point. They are not sweet, they're not charm, they do not look good. So you can understand how the class scenario. Only one boy, real perfect age to be seated in the class of elementary school. Rest are overaged with different kind of disease, different kind of problem. And one boy, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in dream. When someone is young, have a dream. When I'll grow, I'll do this. But they don't have dream because they are already in that stage, young stage, charming face has changed. Okay, and his dream of squirrel's game, he's an imagination. The same squirrel's game, it's a metaphorical presentation has been given. Okay, squirrel game in pre-how room other than this. Squirrel's game, as squirrel is fast, energy. Similarly, boys, the young boy has been symbolized here the same way. Squirrel is fast, energy, unstoppable, uncatchable. You can't catch squirrel easily. This young boy in the same stage, he want to be like a tree house, his imaginative place where he can go inside, he can make his house, he want to do this, and he's thinking more than that. Okay, students, he's thinking more than that. This is one, what we can say, important part of the paragraph. He's observing the problems of the scenario class, and first line general observation of the class, rest 3 examples how the students are in problem, and the final part, the sweet young boy who is having aspiration, desire to be free like squirrel no one can catch. Okay, I hope students you are able to get it. So today I'm just discussing the first paragraph. Next class we'll continue the rest 3 paragraphs. Next class I'll complete the poem, students. So wait and catch me tomorrow. I'll be continuing the chapter next class tomorrow, and we'll complete with the explanation tomorrow. And I'll recall flashback we'll do tomorrow, and we'll complete the poem tomorrow. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, students. Those who are watching me live and off also. And thank you. Bye bye. I'll discuss here from here. Next we'll continue there. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye, students.